Sugar Blossom. Today, we are going to be doing a man on the street interview about Pearl Harbor. Let me take you along with me. So, in your own words, what is your opinion of what Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor was?
General answer, a bunch of kamikaze pilots, Japanese folks who just went on a one-way trip to Pearl Harbor to just fly into the ships and cause as much damage as possible. But bigger picture idea and how it factors in American history, I suspect there's some evidence that FDR knew about it and allowed it to happen because America really did not want to get involved in World War II. Because in World War I, it turned out they had a little study and found out that we got involved because the people who made arms like guns and bullets pushed the government into joining because they make lots of money if we go to war. And so they didn't want to go into World War II because they thought, hey, we just went to World War I for a bad reason. And so I suspected FDR knew that was happening and did not counteract it and let it happen because after that, Americans were all about World War II and they joined in, and it's good we did because otherwise the Nazis probably would have won. But there's my take on the bombing of Pearl Harbor.
I'm here with Mr. Bezzosi, and I'm going to be asking him today, what is your opinion on Pearl Harbor, and in your own words, what was it?
Well, it was a day that will live in infamy, not because of what most people think. My opinion is that Pearl Harbor was an attack upon the United States by Japan that was completely justified from the perspective of the Japanese. That's because just prior to the war, America, to punish Japan for its invasion of China, decided to embargo Japan from buying any oil from the United States. And at that time, Japan, because it's mostly volcanic rock, imported most of its oil from the US. So as a result of that embargo, Japan felt like their oil supply had been cut off. And as a modern industrialized nation, you can't do business or industry or run your ships or your military without oil. The only oil that would have been accessible to the Japanese was in fact in Indonesia at that point. And if you think about Indonesia as an archipelago, you have to understand that in order to get there, they would have used their navy. Now the thing that lies between Japan and Indonesia is the Philippines, another archipelago. And at that time, the Philippines was a protectorate of the United States of America, which meant we protected the Philippines with our navy, and our navy was housed in Pearl Harbor. So by eliminating the US Navy at Pearl Harbor, Japan was ensuring that their lines to oil in Indonesia were open and that they could continue to function as a modern industrialized nation. They in fact saw our embargo of oil against them as an attack upon Japan.
Very well, thank you very much. Miss Sugar Blossom, please do tell. In your own words, what was it?
Pearl Harbor was an attack from the Japanese against Pearl Harbor, obviously.
Yes.
And it ruined the Pacific Fleet, which did a lot of damage for us for war. And my opinion of it was it shouldn't have happened because then we did a bigger attack on them, so it just ruined all peace and everything at the time.
Very well, thank you, Miss Sugar Blossom.
Today we have an expert that experienced firsthand what happened at the D-Day invasion, also known as Operation Overlord. This is Yanuda Yamsama.
When I first stormed the beach of Omaha, our intel was to establish a beachhead in Western Europe. The code name for this attack was Operation Overlord. Once I was on the shore, I was deafened by the screams of my allies. The roaring of the guns was unbearable. The sight was something out of a nightmare. Bodies riddled the beach, and the water red with blood. The only thing I could do was hide in a German foxhole. From day till night, mortar and artillery shells battered the beach. I put my rifle between my legs, so if any Germans were to jump on me, they would have a bayonet in their chest.
How many Allied troops stormed the beach?
156,000 Allied troops.
Who were the commanders of the Allied powers?
Supreme Commander General Dwight D. Eisenhower, and then there was the commander for the ground troops, General Bernard Montgomery.
What was the primary objective for the Germans?
Prevent the Allies from securing a foothold in Western Europe.
What was the total number of casualties?
The number of casualties ranged somewhere around 425,000 to Allied and German deaths.
Causes and effects of fascism. One event is Mussolini gained power in Italy. The cause of that was bitter disappointment over the failure to win large territorial gains. The effect was he vowed to give Italy strong leadership, revive its economy, and rebuild its armed forces.
Hitler, chosen leader of Nazi political party, caused Hitler joined a political group that followed his ideas that Germany had to overrun the Treaty of Versailles. Inspired by Mussolini's march, Hitler and his Nazis attempted to seize control of Munich. Hitler is tried for treasons and sentenced to prison. Attempted seize of control in Munich failed. Hitler wrote Mein Kampf while in jail.
Hitler burns books. Hitler wanted more economic and political power. He twisted the philosophy of Frederick to support the use of brute force.
Nazi passes laws depriving Jews of their rights. Hatred of Jews was a least part of Nazi ideology, and Nazi mobs attacked Jews in their homes and in the streets. This started the elimination of Jews.
We all know we shouldn't use cotton swabs to clean or dry our ears. They even warn us, but we do it anyway. Stop. There's a better way. Introducing WaxVac, the safe and effective way to clean and dry your ears. WaxVac will help your whole family feel better and keep their ears healthier. Here's how it works. Unlike cotton swabs, which push dirt and harmful wax further into your ear and can puncture your eardrum, ouch! WaxVac gently draws dirt particles and moisture out of your ear rather than pushing it in. There's nothing else like it. WaxVac is quiet. Listen. Safe. Its unique safety guard prevents it from going too deep like an ear thermometer. And effective. See how gently it vacs water and dirt, leaving your ears clean and dry. You just empty it out when you're done. Doctors everywhere warn against using cotton swabs to clean your ears.
Don't use a cotton swab in your ear because it can cause significant damage.
I know I shouldn't use cotton swabs to clean my ears. WaxVac seems like the perfect solution.
Sometimes cotton swabs hurt. If they like it, I love it.
What a great idea. WaxVac just makes sense.
Stop using other ear cleaners that don't work and stop using cotton swabs that can damage your ears.
Ow!
Call and order the WaxVac now for only $10.
The bomb dropped on Hiroshima from the Enola Gay was known as Little Boy. The bomb dropped on Nagasaki, named Fat Boy.
This is a simulation of the dropping of the atomic bomb. To wrap up World War II, 26 countries came together to prevent another world war from happening.
President Roosevelt put together ideas for a charter to prevent such conflicts in the future.
Roosevelt never got to see the establishment of the United Nations. His death was on April 12, 1945, and this was not longer before the agreement took place.
When Roosevelt had passed on his presidency to Harry S. Truman, Truman made the decision to still have these meetings to establish the charter in San Francisco.
The charter declares that membership of the United Nations is open to all peace-loving nations which accept its obligations and which, in the judgment of organizations, are willing and able to carry out their obligations.
The charter took from April to June to complete.
50 countries had signed the charter on June 26, 1945.
Poland signed later to make it 51 countries.
On October 24, 1945, the United Nations became official.
The languages of the United Nations are Chinese, English, French, Russian, and Spanish.
The United Nations should hopefully be a successful and well put together organization to prevent another world war from happening.